10 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. Good morning, everyone. Ada, would you please read the public notice?
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, Commissioners. Adequate public notice has been given pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been posted at the board's office and website, emailed to the Department of State, and to newspapers of broad circulation within the state.
Thank you, Ada. And roll call, please.
Commissioner Holden?
Here.
Commissioner Solomon?
Here.
Commissioner Chivukula?
Here.
Commissioner Gordon?
Here.
President Fiorelisa?
Here. Next regularly scheduled meeting?
Our next regular board meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, June 9, 2021 at 11 a.m. via teleconference with details to follow.
Thank you, Ada. The board will be going into executive session, and we will be addressing two clean energy items, 8A and 8B. 8A being in the matter of modernizing New Jersey's interconnection rules, and 8B in the matter of the release of the solar successor competitive administrator request for quotations. And the board will be taking action on these items during regular session. Executive session, I would approximate maybe 30 minutes or less. Would Michael, the Attorney General's office, please explain the justification for going into executive session, please?
Yes, good morning, Mr. President and Commissioners. Items 8A and 8B each fall within the contract negotiation and attorney-client privilege exceptions to the Open Public Meetings Act. These exceptions are found at New Jersey Statute 10:4-12B7. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
Moved. Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are now in executive session, and I'll see you on the other side. Again, 30 minutes or less. Thank you. We were obviously a lot shorter than 30 minutes, which is good. And I again want to welcome all of you who are joining us today for our May 19, 2021 board meeting. I just have a couple of things I would like to start off with. We have a new staff member who's actually an old BPU employee or a former BPU employee, not old. After a hiatus of 4 or 5 years, she is back with us. Daquilla Stewart, clerk typist, will be in the Clean Energy Division. Welcome back, Daquilla. Also, I have a couple of folks who will be leaving the board, and Ben Goldstein from Clean Energy is going to go on to graduate school, so which is great for you, Ben. And I know I speak for everyone when I wish you only the best as you go on and further your professional development. You've done a great job for us, and we will certainly miss you, and there's always a home here for you if you decide to come back. So much luck. And then a longtime BPU employee who has been an administrative assistant for a good number of years, person who has devoted a great deal of her life to the Board of Public Utilities, and that's Evelyn Dowling. Evelyn is retiring, and Evelyn will be retiring at the end of this month. And I know that I speak for everyone when a longtime employee retires, that we only wish Evelyn all the best that's ahead of her in her retirement years. We're certainly going to miss her. Evelyn is a unique individual that a lot of us have worked with. You never have to guess what's on Evelyn's mind. She'll tell you. And so there was never any guessing there. So it's important to know that about Evelyn. And the one thing, though, I'm going to miss mostly is that straightforwardness on her part and her willingness to always help people. And she did. Any new administrative assistant comes in, any new commissioner comes in, she's more than willing to lend a hand. She was always a vital part of the team as we moved through different variations of the board over the years. So, Evelyn, only the best. We will miss you, but you know that the BPU will always be part of your life, and that you're always welcome to visit as you enjoy many, many years of retirement. So I'm sure Commissioner Holden might want to say something about Evelyn. Commissioner?
Absolutely. I can get through without crying. That was a really great tribute to her. I have had the pleasure of working with Evelyn Bell Dowling for a little over 9 years. She's been my right arm. And I knew when I interviewed her, and she said she had worked for Commissioner Carol Murphy's as the administrative assistant. And knowing Carol, I knew that Evelyn had to be the one. She's loyal, she's trustworthy, she's the go-to person for ethics questions, civil service and union rules. She's got a penchant for cleanliness. Who's going to keep that 7th floor kitchen and refrigerator clean? That's what I want to know. She started the coffee club, the water club, took care of clean air passes for New Jersey Transit for employees. Whenever there's something, she's the one to step up. Evelyn and I are family. I've gotten to know her husband, Scott, her daughter, Chrissy, her son, Andrew, we call Doo-Doo, and all have that same goodness, loyalty, and strong work ethic. Evelyn in particular has been working full-time during the pandemic and through her illness. She's that conscientious, even taking her computer with her to some of her treatments. You're not going to find somebody like her every day. Thank you for the other oddball things you do. And I know you're listening, Evelyn, like altering a colonial costume, baking birthday cakes, hold the salt, and answering that eternal question from your mom, who's making the lasagna this year. I know Maria Zazera, Rob Glover, and Ryan Regan join me in wishing you a healthful and enjoyable retirement. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, Commissioner. And
Mr.
just
President?
an indication, yes, just an indication of how much we love you, Evelyn. Yes, sir.
I want to wish Evelyn all the best on her retirement as well. I have to say that my orientation to the BPU wouldn't have been as smooth as it was without Evelyn helping me. I did not have an administrative assistant at the time, and she kind of adopted me. And I don't know what I would have done without her. So I wish her all the best and thank her for all the help she's been to me.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I also want to thank Evelyn. As Commissioner Holden mentioned, Evelyn was always the one on the 7th floor to jump in when anyone needed help. When I had an absence of an aide or Anissa couldn't be there, Evelyn, without even being asked, took over and helped me during that time. Not to mention when I first came to the board, giving guidance until we were up and running, which also took some time when I first came. So, if there was anyone that was going to beat the illness that she sustained, we knew it would be Evelyn, and you deserve all the best in your retirement. And, maybe you can help the rest of the country find workers as good as you to fill all these positions that now need help. So all the best to you and to your family.
Yeah, Mr. President,
Yes.
I'd like to say a couple of words. I echo all the comments made by other commissioners. One of the things is that there was a wall between my office or my section with Evelyn, but I think we were able to break through the wall and develop relationship with Evelyn. And I had nice chats with her about so many different topics. We're going to miss her. I want to wish her a very, very happy and healthy and safe retirement. Also, I want to take this opportunity to wish Ben Goldstein, in his professional development advancement. And I think he's been a fine young man who has done worked very hard and always answered the questions diligently. And I wish him well. We're going to miss him, but I want him great success. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you all. And I hope Evelyn is listening, because it's just a tribute, again, as I said before, of how much we love you. So you take care of yourself. This is Utility Assistance Week. And as we all know, COVID-19 hit the wallets of many New Jerseyans hard. And as a result, many more people are behind on paying their utility bills, some for the absolute first time. We have learned, though, that people are not aware of the financial assistance programs available to them through their utility companies and the state of New Jersey, especially if there are newly eligible due to a change or sudden change in income. That's why this week, BPU and the Department of Community Affairs launched Utility Assistance Week. Along with the utility companies, our sister agencies across the state, and community-based organizations, we are amplifying our outreach efforts to make sure every New Jerseyan who is behind on their utility bill knows that assistance is available. Through the press outreach, social media promotions, advertising, direct calls, and more, in conjunction with our utilities, we are leaving no stone unturned in our collective effort to let our residents know we are here to help because we are truly in this together. And we're only going to come out of it together. Utilities are standing by to assist you with flexible, let's underline flexible, repayment plans and energy assistance that can make a difference for you and your loved ones. You can visit the BPU website at nj.gov/BPU for more details on the programs available. We are all, as I said before, in this together. Please share this information with your communities so that we can get our neighbors the relief they truly need. If you are in need of assistance, I urge you to please reach out. Reach out to us, reach out to your utility. It's vitally important. Do any of my other colleagues have, any words they would like to say before we continue on with the agenda?
Just one thing, Mr. President,
Sure.
you know, with this being Utility Assistance Week, I think that anyone listening here to this meeting today, you know, has contacts with various organizations that you may not have thought of to reach out to tell them about this effort. It's vitally important that you contact those organizations just to let them know about, you know, what is available and, you know, just spread the word so that people really are aware of, you know, what's available to them. So I think if each of us, you know, looked at our contacts and took advantage of, you know, getting that information out, it would go a long way in getting this information out to the public as well.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah, Mr. President, I think I just want to remind people that the moratorium is, I guess, the executive order is supposed to end June 30th. I think there's still time for making the plans, reaching out to the utilities. And Bob Rapston did a fantastic job of providing us the arrearage numbers, which are pretty steep. And we need to make the awareness that utilities are trying to do their best to help out unless you ask for help. Nobody knows that you need the help. I mean, I know the COVID-19 has hit all of us in different ways, and the last 14 months have been a very difficult time. And so we need to make sure that all the utility rate payers, you have this option available. President and the Lieutenant Governor had a written article about seeking out, I guess, opinion piece they wrote a few months ago, reminding people it is important. It's like this, you know, you don't start a fire department when your house is on fire. You plan ahead of time. So you still have a month, you know, try to reach out to your utilities and try to work out some kind of plan so that way this moratorium is only a moratorium. It is not forgiveness. So please ask for help. If you don't ask for help, we don't know that you need help. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
President Fiordaliso?
I'm sorry.
I just want to underscore what Commissioner Shivakula said from, you know, all of the webinars, conferences that we've had in different states are finding the same dilemma that we are, that people don't understand that moratorium doesn't mean forgiveness. You still have to pay the bill at the end of the day. But a lot of people across the board are not applying for money that is there, whether it's Lifeline or it's universals from our Universal Service Fund. Many of the utilities have their own private funds. There's the federal LIHEAP. They're working on the rules for water assistance federally. So it's out there. Don't be afraid to ask. And the utilities themselves will be happy to point you in the right direction as well. Also, I think this is our last meeting before Memorial Day. And I'd like everyone to please remember those that have given their lives in sacrifice for our freedoms. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Madam Secretary, you're going to be very proud of me. Why don't we go to the consent agenda? Something I always forget.
Thank you, Mr. President. On the following consent agenda items, 1A, 2A, 5A, 7A, 7B, and 9A.
So moved.
Second.
Second, thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. Thank you, Ada. And audits has no items for consideration at this meeting. That brings us to energy and Director Peterson. Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning, Commissioners. For agenda item 2A, at its April 21st, 2017 public agenda meeting, the board authorized staff to issue an RFP on behalf of the board to hire a consultant to perform oversight of the BGS auction process. After scoring, the evaluation committee determined that Bates White LLC should be awarded the RFP contract, which the board approved. The contract was for a 3-year period, beginning with the 2018 BGS auction, which commenced July 1st, 2017, and provided that the contract may be extended for all or part of 3 one-year periods by mutual consent of Bates White and the board. In May 2020, the board authorized staff to extend the contract for the first 1-year extension term to complete the 2021 BGS procurement process. Based on its continued satisfaction with Bates White, staff is now recommending the board authorize staff to extend the contract for the second 1-year term in order to complete the 2022 BGS procurement process.
I have a
So moved.
motion?
So moved.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Second, thank you. Any questions or comments for Stacy? Roll call, please, Ada.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. And that brings us to 2B, Stacy, a PSE&G matter.
Correct. On December 31st, PSE&G filed a petition seeking approval for gas base rate changes to provide for cost recovery associated with certain capitalized investment costs for the company's GSMP2 program. In the petition, the company sought approval to recover a revenue requirement of approximately $26.4 million associated with the capitalized investment costs through February 2021, not yet recovered in rates. PS subsequently updated the filing to provide actual data through February 2021, which supported a revenue requirement of $21.3 million. The parties have now executed a stipulation which would allow PS to recover the updated revenue requirement of $21.3 million. As a result of the stipulation, a typical residential heating customer would see an increase in their annual bill of $11.74. Staff recommends the board issue an order approving the stipulation and directing public service to file revised tariffs by June 1st.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments for Stacy? Roll call, please, Ada.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Mr.
Stacy.
President, I think Ada is having some audio issues.
Yes, I'm hearing that, yeah.
I'm guessing that she asked for my vote.
Yes, she did. And you voted, no, I was gonna make a joke, no. Okay, Stacy, thank you. And that brings us to 2C rather. And Joe DeLosa, you're going to present, obviously has something to do with the feds.
Good morning, Mr. President and
Good morning.
Commissioners. On October 27, 2020, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or FERC, held a technical conference regarding offshore wind integration in organized wholesale markets. On May 10, 2021, staff, on behalf of the board, timely filed post-technical conference comments. The comments explain the need for revisions to PJM's planning process in order to meet New Jersey's ambitious clean energy goals. However, before such revisions can occur, the comments explain that FERC must thoroughly evaluate cost to customers and reform its identification of transmission benefits on a regional and interregional basis. The comments urge the FERC to require PJM to substantially update its planning process, replacing today's siloed transmission planning with a new approach to appropriately identify efficient regional upgrades with broad-based benefits while assuring adequate protection for ratepayers. Accordingly, staff recommends that the board ratify the comments filed May 10, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments for Joe?
Mr. President, I just have a quick question about the, I never understood this docket numbering for these comments. Maybe Joe, you could explain that to me. What does AD 20-18 mean for the public and myself? Yeah.
Sure, yeah, great question, Commissioner. So AD means it is an administrative docket, which means there isn't a specific proposal under consideration by the Commission. Instead, they are conducting an administrative inquiry, which is a little bit broader scope. 20 means the fiscal year in which the docket was initiated.
Thank you. I think 18 mean the number 18, I guess. Yeah, okay.
And 18 is just, so it starts sequentially. So you have the prefix, and then depending on the prefix, it's the year, and then they start from 1 and go until there are, until it turns into the next year.
Thank you for the lot. So there's been a lot of work behind because you have reached 18. So it's got to be good. A lot of work. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Any other questions or comments for Joe? We have been finding a much more cooperative FERC of late, and one that is interested in state input. And it's refreshing to have that because there are so many issues here in the state of New Jersey regarding green energy and so on, where the FERC does get involved. And we have to have that kind of relationship where hopefully we can steer the interests of New Jersey through the bureaucracy of the FERC. And it is important that we maintain and continue to enhance that relationship with FERC, as we have been doing with our regional transmission organization, PJM, only in the purpose of advancing our goals and our vision here in the state of New Jersey. So through the work of people like Joe, who know this stuff inside out and probably has forgotten more than I'll ever know about the operations of the FERC or PJM, but that's why we have people like him who really understand this and really work very, very hard in protecting the interests of the state of New Jersey. So thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiorelisa.
Yes. Thanks, Joe. There are
Thank you,
no
Mr.
items
President.
under cable television for consideration. We do have 2 items under telecommunication. Lawanda. Are you on mute, Lawanda?
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. Good morning, commissioners.
I thought you left us.
I thought I did too. My screen went blank. Okay. Good morning. The first item, agenda item, well, actually, both items that are on the agenda this morning involve two carriers that are seeking designation as an eligible telecommunications carrier, or ETC, in order to provide Lifeline telecommunications service to qualifying New Jersey consumers. The first item, 4A, involves a petition filed by Exchange Telecom LLC. Exchange received approval from the board to operate as a competitive local exchange carrier, or CLEC, in New Jersey in 2003. Exchange offers both wireline and wireless service. With respect to its wireline offering, the company provides voice service by resale, while it also provides prepaid wireless telco services to consumers by using the underlying wireless networks of facility-based providers like T-Mobile and Verizon Wireless to offer nationwide service. Exchange now seeks to be designated as an ETC to provide Lifeline service in New Jersey. Lifeline Service is a federally funded program that is part of the Federal Universal Service Fund and provides a $9.25 monthly subsidy directly to the ETC providing service to the qualified low-income consumers. The USF is funded by a surcharge that's collected from all consumers by telecommunications providers. Eligibility for the Lifeline program requires that consumers provide verification of their participation in certain federal assistance programs, such as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, more commonly known as food stamps, Medicaid, Federal Public Housing Assistance, Supplemental Security Income, the Veterans and Survivors Pension Benefit, or certain tribal programs. They can also qualify by demonstrating that they have an income that is at or below 135% of the federal poverty guidelines. Exchange's proposed Lifeline offering will provide 1,000 voice minutes, unlimited text messages, and 3 gigabytes of data per month at no cost. Customers will also be able to purchase additional minutes or data as needed. In addition, customers will receive a handset or SIM card, as well as access to voicemail, caller ID, call forwarding, three-way calling, and call waiting features at no additional charge. Minutes may also be used by customers to place long-distance calls, and calls to the company's customer service center, as well as 911, are always free, regardless of service activation or availability of minutes. Exchange affirms in its petition that it has met the federal criteria for designation as an ETC, which includes offering all the supported services in its Lifeline service offering the Lifeline service throughout its designated ETC service area, and advertising the availability of its Lifeline service. According to the company, the request is consistent with the board's designation of other wireless carriers as ETCs, such as TracFone and Virgin Mobile, and approval of its petition will work towards furthering competition for wireless and wireline Lifeline services by offering eligible consumers an additional choice of providers. The New Jersey Division of Rate Counsel filed comments supporting approval of the petition, and staff has reviewed the petition and the information provided in this matter and agrees that Exchange has demonstrated it meets the criteria for ETC designation, and we therefore recommend approval of the petition at this time.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments for Lawanda?
Yeah, Mr. President, I want to thank Lavanda and Carol, keeping this going with ETC designation. And because I think the telecom, Lavanda will agree with me, the telecom landscape is changing, and more wireless carriers, and giving them that ETC designation, it is going to be helpful, and consumers will have a competition. And I think I want to throw a challenge to Lavanda that please bring more competition to broadband. Thank you.
I'll try my best, Commissioner.
Any other comments or questions for Lawanda? Roll call, please, Ada.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. 4B, Lawanda, Link Wireless.
Yes, that's Q-Link Wireless, Mr.
Q-Link,
President.
I'm sorry.
Yes. That's also, as I stated previously, a petition to request designation as an eligible telecommunications carrier, ETC, to also provide Lifeline service to New Jersey consumers. Q-Link is designated currently as an ETC in 32 other states and has applications pending in 11 additional states. Q-Link plans to provide prepaid wireless telco services to consumers by using the underlying wireless networks of providers such as T-Mobile. Q-Link seeks approval to be designated as an ETC to offer their wireless Lifeline service. As I noted previously, the Lifeline program is funded by a federal surcharge that's collected from all consumers by telecom providers and which is submitted to the Federal Universal Service Fund. It provides a $9.25 monthly subsidy directly to the ETC that's providing telecom service to qualified low-income consumers. Eligibility for the program requires consumers verify their participation in several assistance programs, including SNAP, Medicaid, housing assistance, social supplemental security income, veterans and survivors pension benefit, or certain tribal programs. In addition, they can qualify by demonstrating their income is at or below 135% of the federal poverty guidelines. Q-Link's proposed Lifeline offering will provide 1,000 voice minutes, unlimited text messages, and 3 gigabytes of data per month at no cost. Their offering will also include a free Wi-Fi enabled smartphone or SIM card that's data capable, a data capable tablet or hotspot device, free calls to the company's customer service, 911, as well as free access to voicemail, caller ID, call waiting, call forwarding, and three-way calling. In addition, they can also use their minutes to access long distance at no charge. The company states that it will also allow feature-rich mobile connectivity for qualifying subscribers at no cost without the burden of credit checks or service contracts. Customers may also purchase additional airtime minutes if needed or data on the company's website. Q-Link affirms in its petition that it has met the federal criteria for designation as an ETC, including offering all the supported services in the Lifeline offering the services throughout the designated ETC area, and advertising the availability of its service. The company also confirms that its request is consistent with other approvals by the Board of Designations of Wireless ETC carriers, and that it will also further competition for eligible consumers by providing an additional choice of providers. The New Jersey Division of Rate Counsel has filed comments in support of the petition. Staff has reviewed the matter and agrees that Q-Link meets the criteria for ETC designation and therefore recommends approval.
Did you say so moved, Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I didn't hear you.
Second.
Thank you. Questions, comments for Lawanda? You know, Lawanda, it's appropriate that we're taking these up at this meeting since it is Utility Assistance Week, where additional services that are available for those who need them. And it's gratifying that we live in a society where we can help one another if necessary and when it's necessary. So thank you for that. There are no other
Thank you.
comments. Roll call, please, Ada.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden, Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. Thank you, Lawanda.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right, that brings us to water. And Michael, we have 2 items under water for this meeting. So let's start with 5A, if you would, Suez Water.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Good morning.
Today we have before you, as the President said, 2 water matters, and we'll start with Suez. On November 23rd, 2020, Suez Water, New Jersey, filed a petition seeking to increase its base rates by approximately $35 million, or approximately 12% above the annual level of revenues for the test year ending March 31st, 2021. Among other things, the petition also sought to implement a surcredit mechanism regarding the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, and to incorporate the roll-in of the current distribution system improvement charge into current rates. Suez is engaged in distributing water for resale and wholesale customers and wastewater service to approximately 260,000 customers in portions of Bergen, Hudson, Hunterdon, Middlesex, Monmouth, Morris, Ocean, Passaic, Sussex, and Warren counties. The board transmitted this matter to the Office of Administrative Law for hearings, and Administrative Law Judge Irene Jones was assigned to hear the matter. ALJ Jones granted Gordon's Corner Water Company's motion to intervene in this proceeding. After proper notice, ALJ Jones presided over virtual public hearings via Zoom at 4:30 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. on March 4th, 2021. The parties engaged in extensive discovery, and subsequent to the public hearings, Suez, Gordon's Corner Water Company, the Division and Rate Council, and board staff executed a stipulation that resolved all issues that emanated from this proceeding. Stipulation agrees to a base rate increase of $16,350,000, which is approximately 5.51% over present revenues. The impact of the rate increase will vary by service area, and customers in service area 1, which is the old Hackensack Water Company service area, who use approximately 6,000 gallons of water per month, bills will increase from approximately $49.50 per month to approximately $55.70 per month, which is an increase of approximately $6 per month. Because of the Tax Acts related surcredit, customers should not see an impact on their bills because of the rate increase for approximately 9 months. ALJ Jones issued an initial decision recommending that the board adopt the stipulation, and staff recommends that the board adopt the initial decision.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments for Michael?
Yeah, Mr. President, thank you. Now, Mike, I was looking at the memo, and it says that one of the fourth customer, they were not able to contact because they had insufficient information. How could you have less information about the customer?
There was a misunderstanding, and the customer came to the public hearing and asked the company very specific questions, and the company responded to them, and then the company followed up. But it turned out to be a misunderstanding on the part of the customer, but it was resolved actually at the public hearing, which was a good thing about a Zoom public hearing, because the customers were able to ask the company very specific questions.
Okay, that's good. I mean, I don't want anybody to be left out. Yeah, that's what. Thank you. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments for Michael? Roll call, Ada.
The motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiorelisa.
Yes. That brings us to 5B, Michael, and Lake Lenape Water Company.
Yes.
That's a name of a Native American tribe that used to be in New Jersey.
Yes. Yes. very much.
Especially my area in New Brunswick. We have a.
Along the Passaic River too, where I grew up. New York.
It goes all the way, yeah, along
Yeah.
the Raritan River, yeah. Mm.
Yes, very much so. So and Lake Lenape is one of our smaller water companies. It only has approximately 300 customers. And it serves those customers in Andover Township in Sussex County. On July 23rd, Lake Lenape filed a petition for a rate increase in the amount of $15,000 or approximately 10.8%. The board transmitted the matter to the Office of Administrative Law for hearings, and it was assigned to Administrative Law Judge Gail Cookson. The parties to this matter are petitioner, the Division of Rate Counsel, and board staff. After proper notice, ALJ Cookson conducted virtual public hearings via Zoom on February 10th, 2021. Subsequent to the public hearings, the parties engaged in a virtual discovery and settlement conference and entered into a stipulation which resolved all issues that arose during the course of the proceeding. The stipulation agrees to a rate increase of $10,936 or approximately 7.89% over pro forma present revenues. ALJ Cookson issued an initial decision recommending that the board adopt the stipulation, and staff recommends that the board adopt the initial decision.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments for Mike? Roll call, Ada?
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes,
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, commissioners.
Have a good day, bud.
You too.
That brings us to reliability and security. 6A, Bob, you're on tap.
Good morning, President Fiordaliso and commissioners.
Morning.
Item 6A is a recommendation from staff to readopt without changes the board's gas service rules in Title 14, Chapter 6 of the Administrative Code. As you know, these rules are set to expire on June 18th, 2021, and they remain necessary for the continued provision of safe, adequate, and proper natural gas service to residents and businesses in New Jersey. And also, as you know, they contain requirements for the safe installation, operation, and maintenance of gas facilities consistent with federal safety standards, and those federal safety standards are incorporated by reference in the Administrative Code. And among the provisions of the code are the requirement that each gas utility have emergency personnel available to respond to any emergency. And those need to be people who are trained and empowered to make decisions at the site. That's something that staff has continued to work with the utilities on and continues to make a high priority. So staff's recommendation is that the board readopt the rules in their current form, making them valid through June 18th, 2028. Staff also recommends that the board allow staff to revisit the rules during this period of validity to update them if necessary, if there are changes to federal safety standards or conditions in New Jersey warrant.
So moved.
second,
Second, thank you. Questions, comments for Bob? Roll call, Ada?
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
yes,
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. Thank you, Bob. And that brings us to
There's
6B.
one more.
I'm sorry. Did you say something, Commissioner? I didn't hear.
No, I'm sorry.
That brings us to 6B. And Jody, you're up regarding an MOU between the board and Homeland Security. Jody Raines.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. President and Commissioners.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
Nice to be seen.
Yes, amen.
Item 6B is a recommendation to continue and extend a memorandum of understanding between the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities and the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security. As you're aware, cyber threats to critical infrastructure are one of the most serious challenges to our nation and to our state. Recently, that was evidenced by a ransomware attack that disrupted the supply of petroleum to the entire East Coast. Attacks are insidious and pervasive. On a daily basis, our utilities defend and mitigate threats and attacks against our infrastructure. With the pandemic, the threat landscape has actually grown. Many organizations obviously have instituted remote work plans, and that increases the attack surface area and creates greater vulnerability and challenges. In 2016, the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security created a first for the nation. The New Jersey Cybersecurity Communications and Integration Cell, the NJCIC, is an organization created to deal with cyber threats to the organizations within the state of New Jersey. The Board of Public Utilities entered a memorandum of understanding with regard to information sharing and reporting to the New Jersey CIC. The MOU provides for sharing of information, a reporting structure, and most importantly, protection of classified and sensitive information. Sharing of information of this manner is consistent with the May 12th presidential executive order on improving the state's cybersecurity, or the nation's cybersecurity, which includes removing barriers from threat information sharing. The original MOU was written for a 5-year term. Staff recommends extending the MOU as written for another 5 years with review and auto renewal at 5-year intervals.
Moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments for Jody, who's doing a wonderful job regarding our cybersecurity work here at the board and in coordination with our utilities. So I just wanted to say thank you, Jody. And as I said, it's good to see you. We don't see one another very frequently, but one of these days we're going to be back.
Hope so.
Mr. President, I just want to make one comment. As we know, New Jersey, thank goodness, has been in some ways, ahead of the curve in addressing this particular issue. But every day it becomes more important that information sharing is available to all those who need to share information. And in fact, that was part of when I think an examination of this most recent event will also show, the need to be able to communicate, even when we have review of storms in our area. Usually the biggest item that we need to overcome is how to improve communication and sharing of information. And what happened with the pipeline and at other times with regard to cyber events highlight the need to make sure that our utilities and those involved with our Homeland Security and Homeland Security issues have the ability to communicate with one another and get the information that's needed to be able to respond. And for us to also to have that information to know, where we need to make improvements moving forward. So, it's wonderful that we have, Jody to be there to continue to update us on these items, and that New Jersey is taking such a forward look in terms of providing for this type of issue.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else have any comments or questions for Jody? And just to double down on what you said, Diane, someone mentioned after the Colonial Pipeline incident that the next major war in the world will be a cyber war, not with guns and bullets and things of that sort. And we have to continue to enhance, not only here in New Jersey, but our country, to protect us from cyber attacks, from adversarial countries throughout the world. So it's a very big problem, and one that we have to work diligently to resolve in one way or another, because we can very easily be brought to our knees. And we saw that with the Colonial Pipeline. I mean, disrupting gasoline throughout the entire East Coast. I mean, this is amazing. Hit the grid or something of that sort, and so on. I mean, and all through cyber. And so, yes, this is vitally important.
Yeah. And one of the areas I also want to mention, you know, you have your information technology overlap with your operational technology, and there's, you know, a closer nexus every day, and how to resolve that issue is creating more and more headaches for us as we move forward, and we have to figure out how to overcome that overlap.
Indeed. Indeed. Okay, if no other questions or comments, roll call, please, Ada.
The motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. Thank you, Jody.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, commissioners.
That there are no items under customer assistance for consideration. That brings us to clean energy. And clean energy items 8A and 8B were discussed in executive session. And as I indicated before going into executive session, that we would be taking action on these two items. So Matt, Rossi, the ball is in your hand.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning again, commissioners. Item 8A, this matter is a request for the board to approve a contract for grid modernization consulting services. On February 17th, 2021, the board authorized and staff issued a request for qualifications to retain a consultant for the purpose of engaging a contractor to update New Jersey's interconnection rules to reflect national best practices and better enable the state to achieve its clean energy goals. On March 30th, 2021, proposals were received from 4 firms in response to the RFQ. Staff reviewed and scored each proposal. Therefore, staff recommends award as discussed in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments for Matt? Hearing none, roll call, Ada.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. And go on to 8B, please, Matt.
Yes, thank you. This matter involves the release of an RFQ for services related to the design and administration of a competitive solicitation as part of the proposed solar successor program. Specifically, staff are seeking board approval to hire a consultant to aid in the design of the competitive solicitation, development of the associated rules and regulations, and administration of the program.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments for Matt? Hearing none, roll call.
Motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiordaliso.
Yes. Thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. And that brings us to 8C regarding Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Scott Hunter.
It's going to be me, Mr. President. Good
You don't
morning.
look like Scott Hunter.
Not today.
Okay. Hi, Kelly.
Good morning. Good morning, commissioners as well. On March 12th, 2021, the board received a petition on behalf of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey seeking eligibility for a 1.0 TREC factor in the Transition Incentive Program for a 5-megawatt solar facility located at Newark Airport. The solar project is proposed to be located on the roof of a new 6-story structure on a 19.31 acre site, which was formerly a brownfield. The structure will eventually house both a consolidated car rental operation, including EV charging and a car wash, as well as a parking facility. The project is designed to be located behind the meter and providing on-site generation that would eventually be eligible for net metering. However, the parking facility is scheduled to be constructed in phases from 2021 to 2023. The solar project is anticipated to be completed in the fall of 2021. However, the full electrical load is not envisioned to be in place until phase 2 of construction of the parking facility, which will be completed in the spring of 2023. Therefore, the 5 megawatt project will not be eligible for net metering until spring of 2023. The Port Authority has arranged with PSE&G for power sales to occur under the PEP tariff in the interim. Staff agrees the PEP tariff will provide less compensation per megawatt hour produced than the project will receive under net metering, and therefore the project will receive less incentive than a comparable commercial installation. Staff also agrees that the project is an important component of Port Authority's sustainability initiatives, focusing on reducing greenhouse gas emissions, particularly in environmental justice communities, and notes that in conjunction with this project, the Port Authority will consolidate all rental car companies at Newark in a single space. The project will supply approximately 95% of the energy for the parking facility once it's complete and all of the tenants are on site. Staff believes that the unique facts of this matter support deeming the project eligible for the 1.0 TREC factor provided to projects in non-residential, net metered, rooftop, and canopy market segment. The project will have a behind-the-meter connection at all times, despite initially disposing of the majority of its generation through PSE&G's PEP tariff. Staff's recommendation is limited to the specific facts set forth in this petition and supported by a highly detailed project plan and high degree of certainty of project completion. The project's output will be generated on-site throughout its useful life and after a relatively brief initial period consumed on-site as well. Importantly, the project will materially advance one of the EMP's primary goals, which is reducing emissions from Port Authority's energy-intensive transportation operations. Noting that environmental justice communities have been disproportionately impacted by poor air quality, due in large part to the geographic location of the marine terminals, bus depots, and Newark Airport. The EMP points to a variety of initiatives undertaken to address that. Specifically, it identifies the construction and operation of the parking facility and its incorporation of a solar roof. The prominence accorded the project in the EMP underscores its singular position and unique attributes. Staff believes that notwithstanding the delay in the parking facility's full load coming online, the project will primarily serve as a net metered solar generation facility, irrespective of its commitment to forgo any net metering revenues, and should be considered as such for the purposes of the TI program. Waiving the requirement that the full load be in place prior to the system's authorization to energize would be consistent with the purpose of the net metering rules, given the unique nature of the project and the fact that it will operate as a net metered facility for the bulk of its useful life. Given the manner in which the project will operate, staff notes that good cause exists to permit relaxation of the board's rule requirements. Additionally, given the public policy considerations, strict adherence to the rule provisions in question would not be in the interest of the general public. Staff recommends that the board grant the petition and deem the project a net metered, non-residential rooftop and canopy project eligible for a 1.0 TREC factor, and that the relief sought under these unique circumstances should be limited to them.
So moved.
Second.
Having grown up in the shadows of Newark Liberty International Airport, it is amazing to me. I remember the years that there was only one terminal there, and how that airport has become one of the busiest in the nation, number one. And number two, the amount of construction, in addition to this 6-story parking facility, is going on at that location. It now has, as you know, 3 terminals. Another one is being built as we speak, and it is really millions of people go through that airport on a yearly basis. So it's something that certainly is important to the region, and important to the region because of the amount of transportation that's available within the region. Whether we're talking about highways, we're talking about airports, whatever we're talking about, shipping, amounts of transportation are just remarkable. And that's one vital area for the continued growth and economic prosperity of a region. So this is, again, a very exciting one, and one that I'm thrilled that we have a partner in the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, Mr. President, Kelly, given that we're giving the net metering treatment and certain rules are being waived, maybe it should have maybe a suggestion is that it should have disproportionate number of EV charging stations. So that way, I talk about environmental justice, probably it would also help.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please, Ada.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
President Fiorelisa.
Yes. Scott, thank you very much. And thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome, Mr. President.
There are no miscellaneous items. The formal part of our meeting is over. No more items to consider. I'd like to request that my colleagues stay on, and staff certainly is welcome to stay on. It's an opportunity for us to, since we've gotten so many new hires, an opportunity for some of those folks to be able to be introduced to our commissioners, since we're not in the office and we're not able to do it on a person-to-person manner. So this is the best way, so that when we say names, all of us know who we're talking about. And this group of people, it's just been added to an already fantastic group of staff members that we have at the PPU. And as I always say, we have the best staff in state government, and dealing with all of these other, and I'm not criticizing anyone, but viewing other entities within state government, by far the Board of Public Utilities has the #1 staff. And I say that no matter where I'm giving a speech. And it's because of people like Kelly, it's because of people like Stacy, it's because of people like LaWanda, it's because of people like Michael, it's because of folks that take such an interest. I probably left somebody out and they're gonna kill me. But all of you is just outstanding. So, Christine, are you there?
Yes, I am. I think
And
you
are we
need to,
ready to
I think you need
introduce?
to adjourn the meeting officially so we can go off of YouTube.
Okay, we can do that. I just want to make sure, since all the commissioners are together, the Attorney General's office, is that appropriate for us to adjourn the meeting and introduce these folks to all of us? Or should we stay live? I just want to make sure we're doing it correctly. Michael?
Yes, Mr. President, you have the discretion to adjourn the meeting. Introduction of staff was not something that is an agenda item. So
Okay.
if you wish to adjourn the meeting and then continue, you can certainly do that. I believe there'd be no objection if you wish to continue the meeting, if you intend to introduce staff to the public. That would be the difference.
Okay, and I think I would like to do that, and I just want to make sure I'm doing it per the rules, so we don't have a problem. And I think we're going to do that so the public knows who our new staff and dedicated employees are. So if we can do that, Christine? Thank you,
Sure,
Michael.
absolutely. So I am going to turn it over to Kelly and her incoming staff members. We have, I'm not sure that everybody's has camera access. I think there's some computer issues. So hopefully those who have camera access we'll be introducing some clean energy staff today. At our next board meeting, we'll be introducing some energy staff. So I think because of the really great work of our HR department and and all of our directors, we've been able to bring on a lot of new staff, and we'll continue to do that under the president's leadership. So we may have an opportunity to do this at every or many of the meetings. So I'm
That's
going to turn
great.
it over to Kelly to introduce the new clean energy staff, and next time we will do energy staff.
Okay, Kelly, before you begin, I want to thank Kenyatta for all of the work that he and his team have done to assist in bringing needed personnel on board. And that was one of my priorities when I became president, was to ensure the fact that we have appropriate staff, good staff, and we do in the positions that are needed. So that's really great. Before you go on, Kelly, I just want to mention that my aide, Sam Kaplan, on the week of June 7th, will be moving away from me because he doesn't like me anymore. And no, I'm teasing. He's going to be working with Chance Likens in our legislative affairs area, which has become more and more active. And so it'll be Chance and Sam Kaplan as a team to protect our legislative flanks as we continue to move along. And I will that week be welcoming a new aide, and her name is Amanda Davila, and she will be starting, I believe, on June 7th. So there'll be some changes there. So I just wanted to make sure that my colleagues knew that. Okay, Kelly, thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. President. We're very excited to introduce a couple of new staff to the clean energy team, one returning and 3 new. So I will go through and quickly introduce them. I believe one of them is without video, unfortunately, but I will go ahead and introduce folks. So first up, we've got Veronique Oman. She is joining us and working with us on solar and also offshore wind, and will be handling a very critical component of project management. Comes with a tremendous amount of experience, and we're very excited to have her on board. Veronique?
Mr. President, Commissioners, pleasure meeting you. I've had the pleasure to talk with you briefly before, but I'm very excited to join the team.
Well, we're happy to have you. How's everything going so far?
It's going well, I think.
Okay. A little unusual circumstances, right? Not being in the office together, but we'll get there. Welcome.
Thank you, Veronique. Next up, we've got Lauren Griffith. Lauren is joining us, and we're very excited to have her working on the Office of Clean Energy Equity, focusing on energy equity and our clean energy agenda items, as well as workforce development. I'm thrilled to have her on the team, and I think she's been here for 2 weeks, but already making a great impact. Lauren?
Thank you, Kelly, and hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be here and look forward to working with all of you. So thank you for having me.
Well, welcome, Lauren. And equity is one of the cornerstones as we move along. And between you and Crystal, I know we're going to have a #1 group during the fact that all segments of our population can enjoy the benefits, if they want, of clean energy revolution. So welcome and thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we've got Phil Chow. And I'm not talking about all of the wonderful credentials that folks have, but we've got an amazing amount of experience and expertise that's coming on board, and thrilled to have people taking on key roles. Phil's joining us as a climate fellow. Phil?
Good morning. Yeah, looking really forward to really making a difference on the benchmarking and EM and V for all the energy efficiency programs. So it's been fun, and I look forward to working with you all.
Good, Phil. Welcome aboard. We look forward to working with you also, and look forward to when we come back to the office where we can all meet face to face. Not that this is not face to face, but I mean face to face.
Thank you.
We're very excited to have this critical role in evaluation, measurement, and verification filled because it's really important for the energy efficiency transition that the team has been working on over the past couple of years. So excited to have that, that additional assistance and expertise. And next, Daquilla Stewart, who is coming back to the clean energy team. So we're very happy to have her on board to keep all of the trains moving in the right direction and assisting us on a number of administrative aspects. Daquilla.
Hello, how are you? As you know, I'm a former employee of BPU. I was gone for 3 years and I'm back. I see a lot of familiar faces. Hi, commissioners and President and Ada. I'm here and I'm super excited to be back with my BPU family.
Well, Daquilla, as I told you yesterday, I guess it was when you stopped up, it's good to have you back. And
thank you.
We missed you during those 3+ years, and it's good to have you back in the family and the team.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that's it, Mr. President.
Well, thank you very much. And Kelly and Christine, thank you for helping to arrange this. It's really exciting when we get new blood coming into the BPU and enhancing our team. And it's very, very exciting. So luck to all of you as you pursue a career, I hope, here at the BPU. A lot of exciting things we're doing, and we can only achieve our goals if we continue to work together. Welcome again. And with that, I will, if there's nothing else, I will accept a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, that's Commissioner Solomon seconded it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear her.
I did.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We'll see you at next meeting, and that's June 9th. Have a wonderful day, everyone.